Frontier Bank joins us generally twice a month. Gary Popkes, with an S, talks us through a lot of things on the savings and investment side, family, business, agriculture. Last trip in, he brought this guy named Andy Ott, and we were talking a little different language. Gary, you escorted Mr. Ott in this morning. Are we going to have discussion number 2?
Yeah, we thought we had a lot of interest, and so we thought we'd bring back Andy for round 2 and see if we can continue that educational process around digital currencies.
Bitcoin Day Conferencing. Andy, take us through this, and that's coming up in May.
Yeah, it is. Thanks for having me again. So there is a Bitcoin conference coming to Sioux Falls, May 21st. It's at the Holiday Inn downtown Sioux Falls. The conference focuses exclusively on Bitcoin. It'll cover topics that range. We've got legal, regulatory. There's a nationally known lawyer coming to talk about the regulatory framework around Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. We talk security, how to take care of your Bitcoin. We talk mining, talk the philosophy of Bitcoin. Frontier Bank, we're pretty excited to be able to sponsor this conference. So we're doing things like talking on the radio about the conference. The website is bitcoinday.io. Again, that was bitcoinday.io. That's where you can go to get your tickets and learn more about the speakers in the conference.
Pluses and fears with Bitcoin.
Pluses and fears about Bitcoin in general. Pluses are, well, it's really cool. It provides a new monetary framework. Fears, lots of people have various fears about Bitcoin. Anything from how do I keep it secure to how do I trust it, to what is it valued? I mean, how does its value come about? Why should people value it at all? And actually, one of the things that Frontier is doing to kind of address those concerns and questions is we have a new series that we're calling Bitcoin in Bites. It's a lunch and learn series. So you show up at 12 o'clock, we provide you a free meal, and we answer questions about Bitcoin. I'll talk for 20 minutes or so, and then we open it up for Q&A. We do those every month. So the first one, so it's the second Wednesday of the month in Sioux Falls here, and then the third Monday of the month in Rock Rapids, which is Frontier Bank's headquarters, where anybody can show up 12 to 1 and eat some food and hear about Bitcoin. You can learn more about that at our website, frontierbank.com, where you can RSVP so that we order enough food.
Well, usually the two people I deal with from Frontier Bank, Rick Anderson and Gary Popkes. Bitcoin. Do you understand the language? Do you learn more every day? Tell me what you are saying to those people out there that are saying Bitcoin. Are you just pointing them to Andy?
Well, it certainly has its benefits to have Andy, who has that background knowledge, in-house to answer those questions. But we've helped clients, get into the Bitcoin digital asset, if you look at it as an investment, and so we've helped and assisted clients do that, just to expand their diversification in their portfolios. But Andy brings a background that helps broaden that. We certainly want to provide that educational level before a person gets into any type of investment or type of asset, especially for us to custody at Frontier Bank. So we feel secure, and our clients feel comfortable with that, especially increasing that level of knowledge.
Knowing you and Rick, you checked Bitcoin out carefully to make sure that you weren't referring them to something that really could be over and above the risk that you would want any of your people to take.
Well, we, especially initially, we've had clients in it for over a year and a half, 2 years, and we wanted to make sure that we put up the red flags, especially initially, because anything new you got to be concerned with. But it's been around a while, and Andy can give you the background on that. But it's our job to do that due diligence. We don't go out and, in a sense, promote Bitcoin, but we want to certainly educate people on Bitcoin.
So, Andy, how comfortable were you answering their questions? Anything that one of the bank leaders would have had, or one of the bank customers?
So everybody has roughly the same kind of questions when they're first learning about Bitcoin. I had these questions a few years ago, and it is very much an educational opportunity where to ask yourself, how does Bitcoin get value? Everybody needs to ask themselves that, or else if they decide that Bitcoin doesn't have value, they won't put any money into it. And so it really is just kind of walking people along the educational path. I was doing this a few years ago, and I'm happy to provide that service now. Maybe they can become educated, learn more faster than I did teaching myself.
Well, it's an interesting scenario. You hear Bitcoin and you don't know what to expect. I haven't seen it show up yet with Jesse Schmidt on Friday as something that we should avoid. And Jesse is kind of the barometer that I use, much like I use Gary Popke's when we're talking about what money we have and how he's growing it. But for the most part, if you're handling it the right way, if you got a bank that is looking at it, they've thrown up the red flags. They've answered the questions, and now you feel more comfortable.
Yeah, and as far as the trust department and so forth, it's not something we're promoting or allocating currently, to clients' portfolios. We're accommodating it for those certain clients that want to be in that field or asset allocation structure. So, just like the markets, to a certain extent, we're focused on your traditional long-term assets, but for those clients that want that exposure, like I said, we want to try to incorporate that for the client's wishes.
We've had Matt Swenson Commodities, that has actually quoted Bitcoin after you guys were on the last time, and he seems to understand, doesn't say anything negative, doesn't say anything positive. Of course, he doesn't do that with corn grain or oil or anything else that's out there. But to have people starting to quote Bitcoin, when they're hearing a quote as an average citizen out there, what does that quote refer to, and how much of flux is there daily with Bitcoin?
So the Bitcoin price can fluctuate quite a bit. The last time we talked, it was just over 40,000. When I checked this morning, it's around 38, 39 or so. And it's gone up between then and now. It went up quite a bit and it went down quite a bit. And we're now kind of just down a little bit. So a daily Bitcoin price is really just kind of a rough gauge of what the market thinks the price is right now. And people can use that information how they will. Some people actively trade Bitcoin. Some people don't. I personally do not actively trade Bitcoin. It's too volatile for me to do that successfully.
So where do you store the Bitcoin? You carry it in your watch? You carry it in your pocket? What do you do?
There are many different ways to secure your Bitcoin. Most people, I should say many people, download a piece of software either to their computer or to their phone, and they secure it there. They also make physical devices known as hardware wallets that are offline, not connected to the internet. You can store your Bitcoins there. But actually, one of the things that Frontier Bank is looking at right now that we're really excited is we are actively working towards developing some sort of Bitcoin product that would involve a custody aspect. So we aren't entirely certain what it will look like right now. We're still talking to the regulators to make sure that we can do this in a way that they are comfortable with and that our customers are comfortable with. But what would likely happen is somebody would be able to set up an account with us. They can put some US dollars in and then have that converted into Bitcoin. And then us with our custody partner would take care of the Bitcoin. So legally speaking, banks aren't allowed to custody the Bitcoin right now. We have a third party that we are working with that is allowed to custody the Bitcoin. They take all of the security. They make sure everything is locked down, that it is secure. And they, if somebody were to want to, they would be able to own Bitcoin that is secured by that third party. And you can do it through Frontier Bank.
Gary, one of the things that I've been told by advisors, not as good as you through the years, okay, but basically you should really have a portfolio that's diversified. Should Bitcoin be something you consider now that we're at where we're at today, and we're now seeing a Bitcoin Day conference, May 21st, here in Sioux Falls?
Well, we still believe, we're slightly ahead of the curve on that. And it's regulatory-wise, and Andy can maybe expand on this as well, but, it's some of these structures are viewed more as a currency. Some of them are viewed more as a commodity. So then, the taxation of it and so forth, where, all that stuff is being worked out with the regulators. And so until we get a little clearer picture, I don't see it being part of our, clients' portfolios on a...
Unless they ask about it.
Yeah, that's correct. So if they have a strong desire for it, we're going to try our best to accommodate it in the most secure way possible. But yeah, as far as us recommending it, as far as being part of a client's portfolio right now, we're not at that stage yet until we see additional clarification from the regulators.
All right, Andy, one last chance here. May 21st, who should come to the conference?
Everybody should come to the conference. It is going to be an educational event. Frontier Bank has kind of utilized our sponsorship to make this an opportunity for anybody, those who know a lot, those who are just learning, to come and gain additional information. We'll have a booth there, so you can come ask us any questions about Bitcoin, about any of the products that we're developing. But I highly encourage anybody who's listening to go to bitcoinday.io and check it out.
Website?
bitcoinday.io is the conference.
Did I put you through your paces this morning?
Yeah, that was great.
You had Popke's here. I mean, he's a foot taller than I am. You're not quite that much. But, it's something people need to look at. Looking at ways to save, to gain for the future. That's what banking is all about. Mm-hmm. Appreciate you both being here this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.